especially when I'm facing out. Up, rocks are moving. Don't like that. Hang on. Big step down. Yeah, it's kind of spooky when some of these big rocks start moving around when you step on them. Whew. Okay, well, now we're going up into that. Doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I know your view wasn't the best for climbing up that, but I needed 2 hands. Okay. So they give you a long warning before you get up on this ridge to take the bad weather route. Wonder where that goes. Almost would be interesting to take it, but I got a feeling it drops way down and then I'd have to come back up. I'll just stay up. And once again, down some giant stone steps. That Howard dude that they dedicated this to must have had some awful long legs. Oh, I think I'm joining back up with the part of the other bad weather trail. The sign there says, yeah, bad weather trail that way. So it comes back around. I don't see a trail though. Interesting. We're gonna keep going. So since the bad weather trail joined back into the main trail now, supposedly, I'm assuming that this all gets better relatively quickly. Definitely don't see any more exposure. Still on the ridgeline though. Looks like we got another little summit coming up here. Damn, this ridge just keeps going. Well, I think are we finally making the final drop down? Hard to say, but I think I'm going to put the phone away now. I got 13 minutes of this ridge run. So I'm up here on what they call the exposed ridge line, part of the AT here. I'm a couple hours out of camp. So far it's not exposed, but we got a hell of a view down there. Nice open meadows. Looks like some communities out there. But yeah, I'm not sure why they call this exposed. It's actually less exposed than other parts of the trail that I've hiked so far. Maybe I just haven't got to it yet. We'll see. Well, May 1st. Already headed out of camp. And it's straight uphill. I'm on a little plateau right now. Had to already shed my early morning layer. Got 22 miles to go from Little Laurel Shelter to my next stop. Supposed to be in the low 70s today, so it's going to be warmer. It's interesting to get the messages from my Facebook friend Carol, who has been kind of keeping tabs on me and sending me updates on the trail conditions. There was a fire at the shelter I stayed at just outside Hot Springs, and it sounds like the shelter itself was possible to get burnt. So in one respect that's probably not too bad, because that shelter was in pretty bad shape. But I'd like to know how the fire started, since there's been no lightning or anything. I don't know how any other nature-made fire would start. But I do know we have a lot of smokers out here, and they can be careless. We also have a lot of people that just insist on having a fire, even though it's not really necessary. I've seen them build them in some pretty windy conditions, and they just go to bed. Then when they want to, they don't bother to make sure the fire's burnt down. I've woke up at 2 in the morning and fire's still going some cases. So I wonder if that's not man-set. I don't know. There's a lot of stealth camping around that area because the shelter isn't all that great. Little Laurel Shelter was a little better condition, but it's getting pretty run down too. Yeah, the privy is probably got to be one of the more unique placements, and less is better for building it, apparently. Not only did they not bother putting a door on it, but they put it downhill from the shelter, so you can literally stand in front of the shelter and see right over the top of the privy and down on top of people. I guess the nice thing is the entranceway was placed opposite the shelter, so your knees were covered, and that's about it. So anyway, got a steep run today, and after I crest this first mountain, there's not going to be a lot of water supplies. They seem to be kind of spotty, so it's going to be interesting. Until I get closer to the shelters, I'll have them, so that'll be one nice thing. So onward or upward. Well, wrap up for the last day of April, April 30th. Staying at Little Laurel Shelter. Did a 20-mile day from Hot Springs. Wasn't too bad temperature-wise. It did get a little warm in the afternoon as I had to head up a pretty good grade. Not as steep as what Gut Hooks made it look like though. Got to the shelter and there were already a number of people tenting, no one in the shelter. I found me a tent spot, wasn't the best in the world, just off the side of the trail. But I was a little ways from the shelter. A few more people showed up. I think ended up with about 4 in the shelter. And a few more tenters. Had one lady who tented just opposite me, so she was like literally 10 feet away from me. And she got her tent set up and she started yakking on her phone to some friend. She was talking loud enough to where everybody in Hot Springs could hear her, complaining about her knee and what is she gonna do. She's miles away from Irwin and she only has so much food and da 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 da. And she went on talking about how trail runners have to clean the privies and all this. I finally yelled over at her, told her she could try texting instead of talking. There were people that enjoyed the quiet. So she got a little pissed but didn't say anything to me. Anyway, night went good. Had some conversations. A guy from Sweden is over here hiking. A lady from Australia is up here hiking. So meet people from all over the place. Tomorrow I'm headed out for a 22-mile day. I'm gonna start out uphill and it's gonna be the steeper part of the hill. It's also not a whole lot of water for the first part. One spring, like just a few miles away, but then long ways before the next one. If I do burn out, there's a shelter about 15 miles, so we'll do all right.